at it live. We are here for segment 4 of the U.S. team trials. And we have two players that are ready to analyze these hands with us with a lot of experience with at least some of the players we're about to see. So, Mitch, Sartaj, welcome to the broadcast. And we have already started board one of this final set. Welcome, boys.
Welcome, Rob. I just want to say hats off to Sartaj. It's he's halfway around the world in Australia, and it's a little before 9 there. He did manage to get up. Doesn't show a lot of wear and tear, but we're looking forward to his analysis. And what we've got are two, titans in the bridge world competing against each other at this feature table. We've got Eric Rodwell sitting south, and we've got Bob Hammond sitting west. So neither one of them needs much of an introduction. What we're going to see is a very difference in styles. The Rodwell and Simpson play a version of Meckwell Precision, which has actually been souped up and reinvigorated by Eric in the last year and change. And Bob and Neil play a 2-over-1 system with lots of strange transfers. Trust me. So we're gonna enjoy ourselves, and we hope you enjoy us as well.
And the beauty of this broadcast is no matter what kind of weirdness they get into system wise, we actually get their exact comments on what their bids are going to be. So there shouldn't be too much confusion unless between their own partnerships. So and it looks like they are in 3-0 Trump as the South player, and this looks like it's going to be interesting. They've started to knock out the club entry right away here.
Well, because spades are 4-2 and the 10 is not coming down, this is going to be a difficult hand to make. Now, the 9 of hearts is a key spot card.
That's
So
interesting.
if Rodwell ends up playing on hearts, he can pick up the hearts for one loser
If he plays
because the
hard to the
9
green.
is going to come down. So the question is, how does he maximize his chances? And we're about to see. So fasten your seatbelts.
And this is it's a 15 imp swing, but honestly, from the bridge we've been watching all day, these can get super tight and go any way on a hand or two. So everything's within reach here.
This could potentially be a swing because as we look at the two hands, we can see that 4 spades would make the heart finesse is on side and the diamond finesse is on side. So, in theory, if you were playing this hand in spades, you would lose 2 spades and 1 diamond for a relatively straightforward uh, gain. So
In
we'll
fact, the
see.
other table is actually playing 2 spades at the moment.
Playing two
Yep,
spades.
that's their final contract.
Okay.
It's
Well,
possible that South, who has Queen Jack 9 to 6 spades and the Ace King of clubs, opened a week two, perhaps a constructive week two.
That's exactly what the auction was. It was pass 2 spades, all pass at the other table.
What
that's a matter of style. I mean, not vulnerable, that seems very reasonable, but non-vulnerable, I'd be a little
I don't know.
reluctant to.
I think in any colors I would just open that hand of spade. It just feels wrong to
Yeah.
open it 2 spades. But yeah, you're right. It's a complete style issue, right? And it is second chair, right? Equal. So you are kind of supposed to be pretty disciplined in that spot, right, guys?
Well, I'm not sure whether you're supposed to be disciplined translates to actually being disciplined, Rob.
Very fair point. Thank you very much.
You
And
know,
there is.
I grew up, sorry, you go,
Well,
Mitch.
go ahead, Sartan.
Well, I grew up reading, the magazines like The Bridge World and doing all of this stuff about being sound in second seed, preempting, and all of that. And then you play a bit of bridge and you watch what all the other top players are doing, and then you soon start getting some bad habits yourself.
Yep.
That's kind of what ended up being my path. I'm still a bit more conservative than the others, but I feel like in general, at the elite levels, the trend pretty much is if you have a 6 card suit, just go ahead and open it something. Don't pass, basically.
Right, right.
That's just my feeling.
We saw an interesting one where the last set where it was basically you're either opening 1 or 4 spades, and that was just pretty much the standard all around. It's hands like that are evaluating in interesting ways. So he just plays a spade to the king here. Now what?
Neil Chambers made a very interesting play by ducking the king of spades, and this could prove to be pretty thorny
Yeah.
for the player.
Is he just
Yeah,
gonna
but he did
play?
it. It's all about the 10 of spades, isn't it? From East's point of view, if declare of spades a queen, jack, 10, 9, 6, he has to duck.
You're
So,
right, but
Yeah.
the counterplay on this hand
oh,
is he
wow.
played the
He's found
queen,
it. He's done it. Wow. Amazing. I
and he
think, isn't
also
it?
could have played a small heart. That would have
Oh, no,
worked.
it's not. Sorry. It's not amazing. Yeah. Yeah.
No, a small heart would have been pretty well. Anyway, we'll see.
All right,
So
he's hoping for tricks and hearts now. You know, spades is just
he was
not
hoping for
happening.
Jack 9 Doubleton heart rather
Yeah,
than King 9
exactly.
Doubleton
He
heart.
played for
And
Doubleton Honor in a different way.
if Bob Hammond as West had Jack 9 Doubleton, then Eric Rodwell had pretty much found the winning play.
Yeah. And as you can see,
But
two
as
spades
it
made
is
three over
now,
tricks at the other table. So
he's going to lose 3 clubs and 2 hearts and score 3 hearts, a diamond, a spade, and 2 clubs. Maybe he loses one more trick. Yeah, and a spade at the end.
well, that was a good jump off here.
Oh,
Two spades in one room, 3-0 in the other. All right. We like to see some excitement. Imps flying all over the place.
and I think Neil Chambers really won this board. If he knows his partner has the 10 of spades, which of course he doesn't know, then if he won the spade, then when Rodwell gets in with the second club, he could run the spades, get the bad news, and play a heart to the queen, and then the ace, and
And
lose a heart.
now he solves hearts in that way rather than, the.
Yeah, but he'd still be losing a bunch of tricks there when the smoke
Now you
clears.
still lose 3 clubs, a spade, and a heart.
Only, yeah. What's down one? Down one is good rich, right?
That's what they're that's what they're going to be if he just puts the queen in here, right? So, by the way, occasionally, if the play is slow, they might just
Well,
hesitate on a player,
so
gentlemen. Just so it might not be him thinking. It might just be
so
like,
the thing to consider is why
oh,
Rodwell
there it
did
goes.
not finish the diamond is because he thought that Hammond could have cashed the ace of spades either in his hand or partner's hand for down 2. And the diamond play was a play to make only if East had the diamond king for down 3. So Rodwell played for legitimate number of tricks, paying Bob Hammond a great compliment.
And there's some elements of poker in these situations too.
We were talking a lot about that earlier as well. Just kind of ranges of hands and also percentages of times you do certain things versus others.
I think
So
Hammond just made a mistake. I think the summary of that situation was Hammond could have just played a spade and taken it down 2, but he had a blind spot and thought Declarer had the ace of spades. And Rodwell was not prepared to play for Hammond to have made a mistake. I think that's what it comes down to.
So it wasn't quite a
What do you think?
Grosvenor, but it was like,
Yeah, I think it was just an error, and Rodwell didn't believe Hammond would make an error.
so this is interesting.
That's my read of it, but I don't know. What do you guys think? You think?
I think you're right. I mean, the bottom line is Declare probably would have cashed a spade earlier if he had the ace of spades, which sort of marks East with the ace of spades. So we both have mud in our face for picking on the legendary Bob Hammond, but I happen to agree with you.
Yeah.
So North South's going to find their spade fit here, but what is East going to do when it ships back to him? It's going to go redouble, check, check.
Well, it is a precision one diamond showing 2 or more, so I don't, I think that chances are we're going to hear from East some more,
Yeah.
unless he didn't have Wheaties for his breakfast.
Ooh, lefty. Bob just in there with 2 hearts. This is actually, well, whatever. This doesn't necessarily, this is just a minimum anyway. Sorry. When the redouble hits, right? This is just, okay, this is my preference. That's it. North going to be in here, right?
Well, North is 5-5. He's vulnerable, but he certainly wants to he's certainly going to be bidding that.
Yeah. And the question is how excited is Neil still?
And now Neil has an interesting choice of plays because his partner didn't have a gun to his head, freely bid hearts, and Neil makes what the bid I would have made, so it must be wrong. He bids 2 no trump.
Got 3 diamonds now, though?
We can see that no trump is not going to be a happy contract for East West if they end up buying the hand.
No,
And
he just bails out, yeah.
Bob is naturally tucking his tail between his legs and retreating to 3 hearts.
What would you guys play 3 diamonds as there, 2 no trump? Would you have some sort of system for that, or would that just be, okay, I'm offering again?
Oh, 3 diamonds by.
By Bob here after 2 no.
I think it's forward going. I mean, I think
Got it.
the weakest bid he can make is rebidding hearts,
Understood.
or of course passing 2 no. Sartaj? What do you think?
So we have a rule for these situations, which is that if someone has bid a suit, then you no longer transfer. So if Bob had passed and East had bid 2 no trump, then 3 diamonds would just be a transfer to hearts. But given that Bob's already bid hearts, I think I agree with you, Mitch, that 3 diamonds would be a forward going hand.
Got it.
3 hearts sounds non-forcing, probably with 5 hearts.
Yeah, and it seems weird that he would be forward going on this auction, right, from Neil's perspective.
Well, there's another possibility. If Bob had bid 3 diamonds on this hand with these tickets, he possibly could be suggesting to his partner to go to the partnership desk and get a new partner.
Well,
Yeah, but
we're
this
gonna
is
play
where
game.
partnerships come into play. You know, an established partnership would have an agreement here, but I suspect Hammond and Neil Chambers haven't played as many hands together.
Sure. Oh, the room is 3 diamonds down 1, by the way. So this is
So there's an
Another
opportunity to
opportunity
double
for
4
some-
hearts. Yep, he's
there
taken
it
it.
is. Hard to blame him, right? Ace, king, 10, 4th, and ace of clubs.
Well, if he doesn't double 4 hearts, he should find a new hobby.
His part. There's going to be more than one person at the partnership desk lining up, Mitch.
Yeah, yeah.
So, going to be a reasonably big score here. It looks like he's going to get 3 hearts, a club, a spade, at least, right? Down 2.
So let's look at this auction and say, did Neil make a mistake? What does he need from his partner in order to make 4 hearts? And on a hand with ace 5th or king 5th of hearts, it would basically hinge on the ace of spades being on side. So it doesn't seem like his bid is outrageous, and yet it's going to be kind of brutal.
Yeah, and he's not buying anything at all from dummy except another wasted. I mean, even the jack of clubs is wasted on this hand to add insult to injury.
The
and
question,
and the queen.
this is such an interesting issue, whether or not someone with a 5-card suit and no high cards should be bidding 2 hearts when they're not vulnerable. They certainly wouldn't bid it if they were vulnerable, but non-vulnerable, we're always trying to push the opponents around, and that often is really successful. But here it didn't pay off.
So I guess you're implying, Mitch, that over the redouble with a hand with no points should just pass as West, and then East would bid something, and then West can bid 2 hearts later. Is that what you're...
That's what I'm saying. But I will also say, Sartaj, like you, I tend to be a little bit more conservative in my partnerships than my regular partners. And so for me, if I bid 2 hearts with this hand with 2 of my regular partners, that's like putting a red flag in front of a bull.
Yeah, right.
So, but it's a partnership style thing, as you referred to earlier. If you never play, for example, I've had discussions with Joe Grew and Brad Moss about these kinds of things, and they're in there on every hand, and nothing means anything, but they're not going to get punished. I'm not. They might get a.
There's something to be said to getting in there and taking that good preference that you're likely just 8 hearts minimum, and you've kind of shown your hand in that way, maybe.
Without beating a dead horse, one final comment about this that I don't like is I really don't want to get partner off to a heart lead. I mean, if you gave me king 5th or queen 5th of hearts or something like that, I think it has a lot more going for it. But there's no reason when you have West's hand to believe that you're not going to be defending because you don't have the boss suit, you don't have any high cards, and I really don't want partner leading a heart away from the king.
Yeah, and to go back to your point about evaluating Neil's hand, if he's picturing a heart on her over there, like king empty fifth and out, I mean that's and something else over there. That's not the worst game, right? Looking at his hand, if I remember it correctly.
Back to the play, I think this is heading for down 3 because Rodwell can win this heart and play a club, and he has the threat of playing another club when he wins the next heart. And I don't think declarer can
Yeah, because the slough and rough is giving no no benefit
avoid.
at all.
Yeah.
And
Double
now he's
dummy,
roughing diamonds.
double dummy. East had to cash the high club, two high diamonds, and then it's sort of like a Dennis Coup kind of situation. It sure is easy for us looking at all four
We
hands.
yeah we. You know what? We should
But
find a way to hide the hands and have at least one quiz hand for us in the audience. You know how like they do in poker. What would you do in this situation? Maybe we can find a way to sweat some hands that way. But I see this is not going to be.
Well, he has the 10 of diamonds
oh,
entry.
he has misdefended, hasn't he?
Yeah,
Now
now
declarer
it's
has
done.
control all of a
Just
sudden.
two.
Right. Oh, I see your point though, Mitch. He was playing partner to have the 10 of diamonds and thought declarer would never be able to pull his trump. But if he had played a club, could that have cost? Isn't that the same?
I think
Oh no,
a
it could
club
have
can,
If he
cost.
plays a club, he's in his hand.
No,
I
no,
think
I see.
a club can never be wrong here, in
Right.
my opinion.
No, so no, it could be wrong. If declarer shape is 2-5-3-3, then you play a club, declarer wins, cashes 2 diamonds, and comes out a heart, and you are end played into giving access to his jack of clubs, and your trump gets drawn. So that's what Rodwell's problem
Ah,
was.
okay. All right. You know what?
He,
Rob, it's clear that Sartaj has had his morning coffee, and you and I need to get our coffee, okay?
Yeah.
no,
Well, think
I
about me.
mean,
I'm
No,
almost on
you're
the East
absolutely
Coast here.
no, Sartaj, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
look, I can say that I make lots of poor plays. We all make poor plays, but I feel like they're the top, 10, 15, maybe 10 players, maybe even less in the world. Whenever they make a play, they are playing for some layout. Now, it may not be the layout. So I was quite surprised that Rodwell made some play that was catering to no layout. So I was just backing my